Hey everybody, this is my week 7 discussion post for Temple Grandin's The World Needs All Kinds of Minds. Really enjoyed this one. Might be my favorite one so far. I think I really enjoyed it is because I could relate to kind of some of the things she was saying um, in a work-related manner that I had. I was able to work 2 years. It's a little while back. I was able to work a couple years as a special education assistant for the Hillsborough School District. I predominantly worked with elementary age kids, most of them with autism, Asperger's, Down syndrome, some behavioral and learning challenges and things like that. And I was able to see kind of really relate a lot of the stuff she was talking about to things I was able to kind of learn and grow from when it comes to like my communication and understanding and things like that. I predominantly worked with one student was kind of the bulk of my time when he went from first to second grade, and Temple talks about how finding like a motivational piece. She talks about like the race car in her class. If it's you got to incorporate that into your math class somehow. Well, the student I worked with was his was Legos. That was kind of his go-to. That was kind of his motivational piece. So we were able to kind of use that and work with him to kind of keep him motivated on maybe some things that he didn't want to do. And another thing I was able to do, which was really awesome and kind of helped in this whole thing, was I was able to be a part of some teams that when we would craft these different individual education plans and behavior support plans and things like that, and to kind of have a hand and a little bit of input on that was awesome because, like she said in her thing, what she kind of alludes to is you can't have this kind of cookie cutter mold for every student. Every student is not going to, obviously learn the same way. I'm going to learn different than y'all are learning differently. And, when we teach, if it's peers or our kids or whoever, we're going to teach in our own way and just realizing that. And like I learned this very quickly that I came up against a lot of roadblocks when I would try to explain something. And it was like I was just taking stuff from my experience and trying to relay that. And when it wasn't working, it was like, well, let's try it again. And having that experience really made me realize it's like, no, I got to kind of step back and kind of see what's going to work best for this student in this situation. Let's try a different approach, and that's carried over in the work that I do now. And that was years ago that I did that. And I come into contact all the time with people in crisis, whether it be drug induced or mental health induced, and that kind of lived life experience really helped in my active listening, my communication, my kind of approach and delivery, because I've seen a lot of people where they just maybe have like kind of one go-to and they just like it doesn't work, they try it again. It doesn't work, they try it again. It doesn't work, they try it again. And you just get caught in this loop. And she says it very well there that it's like, there's you got to take there's got to be different approaches. And I wholeheartedly agree with her that we can't lose these hands-on these classes for a lot of these kids. This is you can't just have that cookie cutter mold. One of the schools I work with now, they have a engineering class and they do graphic design and they do CAD work and they do 3D printing and they do all this stuff. And fortunately we live up in the Silicon Valley here with all the Intels around, and we have that stuff, and it takes time. It's I keep relating it to the kind of the school setting, but that's kind of what I know and what my experience is. But like we got to take that time to how can we best help these kids, and how can we best help them grow and learn, and that's gonna take time, and it's gonna take collaboration. And I'm glad I was a part of that, and I'm now a part of that in a different sense. So really enjoyed this one. Very relatable. Hope you guys are doing well. Almost to the end.